What is worse than death? Abandoning your convictions. Death is preferable to dishonor. Or so this image would have us think. Created by the French painter Jacques-Louis David in 1787, we see the ancient Greek philosopher Socrates lecturing on his theory of the immortal soul as he reaches for a cup of poisonous hemlock, ready to take his own life as required by the Athenian government for his crimes against the state. In both its form and its subject, this painting reflects 18th-century fascination with the ancient world, an enchantment with the distant Greek and Roman past known as Neoclassicism. So what is Neoclassicism? Neo means new. Neoclassicism refers to a new interest in Greek and Roman antiquity that emerged in the 1700s. Of course, interest in so-called classical cultures itself was not new. This interest was already one of the defining characteristics of the European Renaissance, deeply influencing the development of intellectual and cultural history for hundreds of years. In the 18th century, however, new historical and social developments changed the way people thought about and used their ideas of the classical past, hence Neoclassicism. Let's start with form, or the way the painting looks. Men in brightly colored, toga-like robes occupy a shallow space, and the massive stone wall behind them is punctuated by a rounded archway to the left that opens into a deep space while pushing the main action towards us. This dramatic scene seems drawn directly from the ancient world. This effect is similar to that of ancient relief sculpture, like the reliefs we see on the Arch of Constantine in Rome. The figures' bodies are also reminiscent of classical art. The figures show the same attention to naturalistic anatomy that characterized Greek and Roman art at its height. The emotional demonstrations of Socrates' followers remind us of the actions of mourners on numerous Roman sarcophagi, or coffins, while the bright colors suggest the vibrancy of Greco-Roman painting. Recent archaeological excavations at Pompeii and Herculaneum in southern Italy helped fuel this interest in ancient forms in the 18th century. Buried under volcanic ash since the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 Common Era, the excavation of these sites, beginning in the late 1730s, uncovered a lost world of ancient visual forms. Until then, very little Roman painting was known. These discoveries prompted a massive international interest in ancient art and culture. Works thought lost to time could be observed firsthand for the first time in over 1,600 years. And it wasn't just in Italy. New discoveries of archaeological ruins were also underway in places like Athens and Paestum, in Palmyra and the Dalmatian coast. Drawings, reproductions, descriptions, and travel reports of these newly rediscovered ancient worlds flooded European markets and fueled Neoclassicism's rise. Artists, like David, participated in this cultural movement, engaging with scholars and studying ancient works firsthand. People, very rich people, who could afford it, collected actual ancient objects, from precious marble sculpture to exquisitely painted pottery. For the majority of the population, works reflecting ancient style or reproducing ancient images and objects made do. Neoclassical architecture, like the spectacular Church of La Madeleine in Paris, used the forms of ancient Greek and Roman buildings. The massive columns, symmetrical designs, and clear geometry of neoclassical buildings were drawn directly from the structures of the ancient world. Neoclassicism also made its way to the Americas, where the fledgling United States eagerly embraced the forms of Greek and Roman antiquity as testament to the enduring power of democracy, which originated in ancient Greece and informed the republicanism of Rome. The U.S. Capitol building, designed in 1793, is a perfect neoclassical monument. Importantly, David's painting doesn't just look antique in its style. It also shows an ancient subject. Socrates' death by suicide was prompted by his refusal to compromise his beliefs. Convicted in 399 BCE of corrupting the youth by encouraging them to challenge authority and impiety towards the Athenian gods, Socrates was sentenced to death by poison, a death he embraced, honoring the rule of law, even when that law condemned him. This story appealed to Enlightenment ideas circulating in the 18th century about the nobility of reason and the importance of the civic virtues of self-sacrifice and duty. Painted just 2 years before the French Revolution, David's work presented his viewers with a model of dignity and morality in the face of unjust leaders. In David's capable hands, Socrates became a hero of republican virtue, honoring the will of the lawful government even if it brought his own demise. In a republic, political power belongs to the people and their elected representatives, a system of government deemed preferable to a monarchy by many 18th-century thinkers, but not immune to abuse. The Athenian government that condemned Socrates was a thinly veiled stand-in for the current French government, widely seen as corrupt. Not all neoclassical art is as deeply informed by contemporary politics as David's Socrates, but all share an insistence upon recreating the clarity, simplicity, and restraint perceived to characterize ancient forms, visual qualities that were thought to reflect the timeless virtues of reason, logic, and order. Influential Enlightenment philosophers like Denis Diderot held that art should serve a moral purpose, first and foremost guiding viewers to virtue. In stark contrast to the lavish decadence and frivolity of earlier art and architecture created for the French aristocracy, Neoclassicism reflected the sobriety and rationality of the Enlightenment.